coming together, though not playing each other. It'll be a good mile marker to see how they've been preparing for the start of the second season of ECS.
Yeah, this new major season has been filled with even more talented rosters, and I think it's going to be way more competitive than last season. LionsCreed versus AYB is the first match on the docket this evening, and this is the team that finished top of the whole entire major season and then went on to win it all in our best of 5 grand final, which was an absolute spectacle. Best of 5 final. What better than going all 5 maps, and the final map being Theme Park to send it out of the map pool. This season, obviously, we brought in Chalet into the map pool, replacing it the same as the T1 leagues. We have also, if you don't know, we have moved from best of 2s into best of 1s, imitating how EUL and NAL do their commend their leagues. So we've got 3 points for a regulation victory, 2 points for an overtime victory, 1 point for an overtime loss, and then no points for a regulation loss. So these two teams tonight, particular, AYB and LionsCreed, I think the majority of people would expect a LionsCreed victory. Do you think there potentially is going to be an AYB upset on the cards?
Well, I think there's always sort of that possibility here, especially moving from best of 2s in the last season now to best of 1s. You have one map, 7 rounds to win. I mean, if you start out with early momentum, perhaps if LionsCreed are a little bit too cocky in this match, if they think their stride in the previous season is going to carry them on without still putting in that same level of practice, this could be a huge start for AYB. And maybe they could kind of come into this and say, we're going to be the gate crashers this season, and it doesn't matter what accolades you secured a couple weeks ago. Things can all change in a matter of moments. You mentioned the map pool being changed. We can take a look over at the map vetoes to figure out where we'll be heading for tonight's first best of 1. And I think this could be a little bit of a difference maker. We have Cafe being brought out. I was very disappointed to see Chalet. No chance that it was going to show up here. Panned out immediately. LionsCreed really stepping on my dreams.
Yeah, I've had the joy of actually casting a few Chalet games across the last fortnight or so, and I have to say that map just brings me joy. It's such an exciting map, and it's not a map that gets brought into the pool like, let's say, like Theme Park did. When Theme Park was first brought in, it was in the height of the utility meta, and it was very dull because Theme Park just played into that utility meta, and the map just came in very dull and very dry, and I think that's why a lot of teams didn't enjoy playing Theme Park. But Chalet, it brings a breath of fresh air. It kind of mimics the middle ground between, say, Consulate and Coastline. There's still strats that need to be evolved on it, like Consulate, but it just has that good flow to it, like Coastline, where you can be fast and you can just pounce on your opponents where they're not expecting it. So we're not obviously seeing Chalet on our first best of 1s, but fingers crossed we got 2 more best of 1s after this matchup to potentially see a Chalet played out. But yeah, the battleground will be Cafe, a very rhythmic map, and a map that LionsCreed did lose in the best of 5 final against Jaeger's Esports. They lost that 8-7, and it was a very hotly contested map, so it's not unfamiliar territory for LionsCreed, and it is, I know, one of AYB's best maps, so it's good to see them take LionsCreed to their preferred map as well.
Yeah, that really sets this one up as a game that could go all the way into overtime for the first start of the day, and I wouldn't expect anything less. For AYB, though, you mentioned kind of the dominance, sort of the prestige that LionsCreed had. What coming into this do you think could help AYB move over the line? How do they need to approach this game specifically in their playstyle?
I think that obviously LionsCreed, they have very capable fraggers. Steno, in just the semi-final and the final of the playoffs, had 125 kills in a best of 3 and a best of 5. So in
What?
8 maps, in 8 maps, the man had 125 roughly kills. He's quote-unquote the best player inside of T4, self-proclaimed, and he obviously has the stats and the titles to back it up. Him and Verns now having won ECS, or formerly EEG, twice, being the only players to have won the ECS title 2 times over, they've been there and done it all. So AYB, they're going up against talent, experience, and I think that for them, they just need to play their own game. You can't be intimidated by your opponents like LionsCreed. A lot of teams go into a matchup against LionsCreed, and before you even click ready on that game, there's something in the back of their mind that they're playing scared. You see the .lcs, you see the steno.lc, and it's something that you just can't let get to your head, because Siege can be a very big mental game. If you lose the game before you've even started the lobby inside of your head, how's that going to transition onto the server?
Yeah, and I think it's even more so against a team like LionsCreed, who are going to be at their best and ready to try and fight sort of that mental warfare. LionsCreed, they've got good fraggers, so I wonder if maybe AYB playing sort of more of an aggressive style is not the way to go, but also in that very same sense, I feel like you can't let LionsCreed just go ahead and take control of the map for free. You have to be able to stop them, kind of contest. So maybe what we could see from AYB here on Cafe is less of a aggression for the sake of aggression, but more of sort of a map control focused play style where you're going to struggle for every inch and make sure that some of those entrenched spots, talking about Pixel, Cocktail, make sure if those are taken by LionsCreed, it's got to come at a cost of manpower, utility, and intel.
Yes, certainly so. We're just getting the last couple of players inside the lobby, and we'll be able to get into the matchup. So, in terms of operator bans, Sticular, before we go to operator bans, why don't we bring up the schedule and just see where the remaining two best of ones we're going to see later after this initial matchup, Grissom. The second matchup, off the top of my head, there we go. It's going to be Jaegers Esports, the runners-up last season, against Cyber Ground Gaming Academy. Whoa, it's a mouthful. A team that qualified through the qualifiers in one of only 2 spots for the major division. Playing Ducks in our final matchup. They were the other qualified team through the qualifiers. They'll be heading up against Team Manic in our final best of 1. Team Manic picking up the previous PG Tips roster from last season. So we're seeing old names, new names. We've got a mix of it all. So this evening can't really have a better storyline so far. It's whether the teams can live up to that storyline and give us a great showing. And I'm sure that AYB, they'll be able to stick their heels in the dirt. And here we go. On to Cafe. There's not much dirt inside of Russia, mostly snow. So it's going to be... I don't know don't know how to finish that sentence off. Sticular, take us through the bans.
Yeah, well, you might as well throw on your boots here if it's going to be snowy for AYB beginning their offensive trek. We can dive into the vetoes. Thatcher, very likely to see here, and that won't disappoint in the first ban. LionsCreed wasting no time to get those EMPs taken away. For the follow-up here from AYB, I want to say there could be the option for something beyond our hard breach expectation. Maybe banning out the Nomad could allow them, when they get on their defensive split, to play a little bit more flexible. LionsCreed are a team that will get you in a chokehold, and they will not let go until the life gasps out of you. But we'll have the Maverick be removed. The hard breaching process for the attackers, never easy on a map like Cafe Dostoevsky. Hurt even more so now that Thatcher and Maverick are sent away.
Yeah, the Thatcher and Maverick ban signals to me that both teams don't want to allow a flat bakery take. They want to play into the defense where you have to stunt the roam clear from the offense, when the offense has to go top down to establish vertical control with the likes of a Sledge or a Buck. A lot of teams, we see the Mute Mozzie combo, wasting time on the roam, collecting drones and just falling back down those white stairs to sight. And our final two, well, our only defensive bans will be the Mirror and the Wamai. So with a Thatcher and a Maverick ban, Cade is on the board. And in recent times, we don't see that very often. So it's going to be interesting to see how either team utilize the Cade. It's going to be LionsCreed starting on the defense. those electric claws could be very tricky for the offense to get rid of, especially if placed in unorthodox positions. There's a lot of spots, say for the top red wall into piano, you can place it below in mining. The freezer wall, you can place an electric claw below in reading room, and of course the attack is going to have to take even more map control to remove that utility.
I have to say, I almost never turn the music on when I play Siege, but this is so moody. It's really building up the energy here between AYB and LionsCreed. Steno, bit of an AFK pick, got the Kapkan initially, but moving over to the Jaeger, the position we know him so well for. And I'm curious to see what LionsCreed are going to cook up here on this third floor defense, given the fact that they introduce both an Aruni and also a Castle, which the Castle specifically is an operator a little bit more foreign to third floor holds. Back in the day, especially in North America, what I would used to expect is castles tossed down on the windows, not usually on the west windows inside pianos, because those getting open is usually a given, but more importantly, perhaps on the white hall window or the white stairs window. However, that's not LionsCreed's plan here. As far as the castle barricades, going to be a little bit more of a different look. You've got one toss down here, strengthens not only the position at Pixel, the attacker's only congestion point going to be coming in from red, but also allows the opportunity for a LionsCreed defender, such as Mute, to try and stake out inside Cigar Shop.
Yeah, this is the coveted LionsCreed Cigar Shop hold. Verns is going to be that rock inside of the shop to be able to throw out a potential C4 through the roof hatch. Not going to collect anything, but I've seen Verns hold Cigar Shop tooth and nail and not allow any attacker any inch to gain that early map control. And obviously every attack coming down from the roof hatches, Cigar Shop is that first bit of map control that you need. Steno, he's lurking down the red stairs. He's hoping that AYB don't drone him in this aggressive position, and he could potentially catch someone on that initial hatch drop.
Definitely looking to slow down the progress here, but now as he begins to feel pressure from Ulfrin, he'll double back, not looking to contest the red stairs angle for longer than he needs to. Next, Kairos to be shot out, beginning the process of looking for control of piano. You can obviously expect Verns to try and put a stop to that and hold this out for as long as possible. Nomad first steps inside a piano, but she'll jump back out to play the more conservative position out on the rappel angle, perhaps a little bit wary of the option of a nitro cell to come through from below, but we already know every nitro has been expended, with Verns attempting the nitro trick up through the top of the hatch. A curious waste of utility. And for the top frag, Steno already to be sitting on a sliver of HP. That does not bode well for the start of round one.
After the castle on his double door gets opened up from the south rappel, Verns then drops down the elevator, and he's done his job. He's waited almost 2 minutes of the round, and now AYB, they only have one of those precious 3 minutes left to execute onto the bomb site. They have the freezer wall to still worry about, those head holes being held by suspended on the Aruni. No DMR in hands, but he makes it work with the P10 Roni. A headshot onto Booster is the first death in this matchup so far. The Aruni gate being reactivated by Steno on close pixel door, and AYB starting to get to work onto pressuring the bomb site. There's players stacking up inside of shop. The ex-Kairos get expended onto the bathroom wall, but that's not going to deter Steno. He stays aggressive on pixel. Next one nearly spots another, but with being on 1 HP, he's just going to fall back, and with 20 seconds left, AYB need to mount their execute.
And man disadvantage, this is going to be a tricky gambit for AYB to pull off. Additional pressure from up on the rooftop as Vapor will toss down an air trap, trying to lock off the bar backstore position. Up close and personal, the castle, he'll deny the plant. FZ with a big frag, and to round it out for the second, eliminating the Nomad. LionsCreed playing well on time there, and quite the maneuver for the UMP.
That was a comical... a comical end to the rounds. Flown just, well, FZ is Flown. He's just shortened his name for some reason. But yeah, on the UMP, just lurking. And you saw that mute jammer on the Shiko spot from New Hatch into the default plant. There was a mute jammer position there. And why was that so pivotal? The drone that came out late round from AYB, it wasn't able to drone out that aggressive position from the castle. and AYB walked into the bomb site blind, attempted that plant, not knowing of the castle, laying in wait behind the bar, gets a one-tap onto the diffuser, and if he didn't kill the player in Cigar Shop, well, if his teammate didn't kill the player in Cigar Shop, he would have, and then he cleaned up the round with Vapor, having to vault down the Skylight, being the final member left up for AYB. So it's a successful first defense for LionsCreed, and they start off the new season where they left off last. Our grand champions go 1-0 up.
I have to give it to AYB. They were closer than I would have expected. LionsCreed playing well on time, stalling things out, and having great timing to know when it was the moment to get aggressive. Even for Steno being on low HP, I felt like he sort of sensed the urgency of AYB, knowing that they had to try and expedite the process, move in for the case. He peeked, he went aggressive, and that caused another moment of hesitation where AYB are thinking, you know, is the Jaeger still going to be at Whitehall when we try to take control of Bar or move into the freezer? Is he going to be an issue, and is he going to compromise us, especially at a 3v4? A player like Steno really comes into his element there when he knows that even if he dies, his team is able to still hold out the back line and have an even man count as is. Booster with an early maneuver, the drone worked good. AYB trying to suss out defensive positions and making sure that they know, but Suspended, he just walks right through Cigar Shop, finds Booster. That early quick play from the Zofia will cost a mountain of utility, and now leaving Yuri to try and pick up the pieces on the roof hatch.
Steno peppering a few shots up the hatch to try and bait for his teammate Suspended, who, yes, he's still lurking beneath the roof hatch, and if the drone spots him, it could spell disaster. Yuri, he's not going to be able to capitalize on the intel. He's wary of the punch that DMR packs. 60 damage at the first 15-meter range of that DMR on Aruni, and it's only 2 shots to the body for a kill. Really impressive stuff there to start off LionsCreed, and it's going to get even better for them. Steno still lurking around mining, finds Vapor. He's finally nearly going to be shot down, but on 1 HP yet again, Steno wins the gunfight. Suspended, the duo S&S roam working to perfection, and it's all up to Yuri inside of pillars. He shuts down Vern's rotating up the brown stairs, but it's surely an exit frag. Suspended is just trying to bait out the shots from Yuri and find out the Sledge's position. Yuri does net a second kill, but the third comes from Steno. He's not going to allow the 3k exit frag from the Sledge in the round. It's a beautiful roam that had no answer to from AYB.
An impressive performance for Kitchen in that AYB never progressed down to the first floor. Quite a troubling position to be in, and really showing LionsCreed's command of the map control. Booster, I think, working a little bit ahead of his team. AYB simply not expecting Suspended, or maybe he was hiding in the one corner they didn't check. Either way, you have to be thorough, especially against a team like LionsCreed, who pulled off what I would call an expert maneuver of guerrilla warfare. First Suspended, collects his second opening kill, back-to-back rounds where he shuts down Booster, negating any impact that the second entry would like to have. And then with Steno to come up and provide additional support, AYB failed to secure the trade. They failed to, at least get a pick in an important moment. At the point where Yuri started to pull his trigger and connect on the LionsCreed targets, it didn't matter at that point because it was a 5-on-1, and even if you pull off such a tremendous move to get a double kill still there, AYB did not have enough road left ahead of them. LionsCreed, 2 in a row, moving to the tertiary objective. Let's see what the middle floor has got in store.
Yeah, I think just that...
10 seconds left.
That oversight from AYB. Yes, they had pre-placed drones up White Stairs, so they could quickly make a move. Booster vaulting down the Skylight, they could take the control of top floor, but where was the staircase that they didn't check? Red stairs, Suspended just lurking up those stairs, flying into Cigar Shop and getting that kill. The bar default would have still been up and called from a member of LionsCreed on site. The Booster had already dropped the Skylight, and Suspended, he acted on the intel. Perfection. So, LionsCreed moving to Reading Room. They have the heavy shield set up with the use of the Goyo on top floor. We see LC every single round bringing the throwable catchers of Aruni and Jaeger. Yes, the Wamai has been banned out, but still, with the introduction of Aruni into competitive Siege, she's been unquarantined. You don't have to rely on those ADSs. Steno being drawn out inside a piano, and Ulfrin will be lit up by that Vector. But, oh, and the pre-play C4 on the red wall finishes off Ulfrin. The damage from the Vector just softening up the Ash, and then the C4 landing the killer blow. It's yet again another opening kill to the hands of LionsCreed. And Steno, he's already started to fire up, and if this man gets going, he's very hard to stop.
Yeah, you really don't have much luck trying to put somebody in front of Steno. Unsupported, I have to feel that AYB could have been more successful there if they went for a 2-on-1 push to try and at least be prepared for the trade. They didn't do that, and so as a result, now they're stuck, having lost their primary entry. Luckily for Booster, he'll survive the opener, but in that very same respect, you lose another key pillar of your soft destruction. You lose the R4C, you lose any drones that Ulfrin might have not had deployed, and now LionsCreed get to rest on their laurels with the knowledge that they can play this passive, hold out in their shielded positions, and there's even less of utility to try and put a stop to this. The Goyo shield holding out in white has been removed, but Yuri with a questionable frag grenade, it bounces off of the threshold and into the wrong position. Big nitro cell there, Vapor goes down, LionsCreed 2 men up.
Yeah, Yuri and Booster trying to exert some pressure onto this cocktail hold, but it's really stalling out from AYB. Drones being lost left, right, and center. Finally, the hard breach of the X-Karos come out onto the freezer wall, and surely that's going to signal for... Oh, not even the freezer wall, that's still mute jammed. A strain of kills, 2 there for AYB, shut down Suspended and Verns, but Steno still holds on tight to top white stairs. Booster pushing up the white hill gets shut down, but aggressive push by Steno gets answered back. Choco brings it into a 2 versus 2 for AYB, and this is the first round that they have some resemblance of command, but with 15 seconds left, they need to assault onto the bomb site. Heavy has no C4, but he has the shotgun to play around at close range. Yuri shuts down Flown, and Choco dropping the laundry hats sends AYB into a Skystorm. Their first round secured. It was in a 3 versus 5, and LC, they didn't play passive enough. They had the time to their advantage. They could have just played their numbers. They didn't, and AYB punished them.
An important turning point here on Cafe. AYB, despite an initial struggle, the type of which they faced in all 3 beginning attacks, they managed to pull it around, and yes, to admit LionsCreed made a few mistakes there. I don't think Steno should have been so aggressive at the top of the white stairs. It looked like AYB were going to be kind of stuck in the mud, 20 seconds to go, but because it was at equal odds, and LionsCreed had, frankly, some awkward positions with one player extended over by Train, I guess there was intel, or AYB just with sort of the expectation for somebody to be attempting that mining-sided flank. They shut it down excellently, and that type of clutch coordination is really going to help you push yourselves over the line. When we're talking about Cafe Dostoevsky, there's always this thought of what can we expect from each of the sides, and while traditionally I would say it's defender-sided, I think that topic around economics is kind of been beaten to death. AYB are going to fight hard for this win, and so as many attacking wins, defensive wins, everything throughout the first 12 rounds here in regulation, they matter. And shutting down LionsCreed would be a huge trophy to have in their cabinet.
Yeah, I really agree. I think that the question is, how many rounds can AYB get on attack? Obviously, we know that historically Cafe, more of a defender side of map, and if AYB can rack up 2, maybe 3 attacking victories, that puts them in good stead. And they're going to have to assault onto this. Oh, we're seeing an Aruni punch very early. I love the way that Aruni could just one-punch barricades. It creates a lot of intriguing ways of utilizing these barricades for aggressive jump outs. I've seen even from that double window inside of was it Ciel or Yukin 1? I think it was Yukin 1 where an Aruni punched the double window. Someone had a C4 prepped and spawn killed with a C4, because most teams will spawn outside river docks. So nothing net there, but it's just a warning sign from LionsCreed's intentions of their aggression. This time, AYB getting open that castle early, and Verds, he's just going to dip out of Cigar Shop. The main piece of utility that's keeping him safe inside of shop is now gone. He's going to relocate inside of the default area by the painting. A nade comes out through the skylight. It doesn't look like they're aware of the position of Verns. Now the drone gets thrown out, and Verns, he's spotted. He just dips away again. This is the aim of the game for LionsCreed, wasting time and drones from AYB, and they're doing it very well.
It's not always about simply taking those engagements, but also feigning your positions, and I think Verns has done a good job. AYB are still a little bit suspicious of what might be going on in the middle of bar, and so as a result, have not yet progressed into taking control of Cigar Shop. Steno to lurk below. Careful to watch the mining window. We had Zofia in the earlier top floor attack play the reverse rappel, trying to cut off any possibility of a mining hallway rotate. Minute and 15, AYB looking for something to cut off some of the LionsCreed defenders away from the bounty of the objective. Flown with a good swing there. I'll net a few bits of damage. The Nitro goes up and Booster goes down. Your Zofia eliminated, and LionsCreed now with control of the man game.
This time, Verns not expending his C4 early in the round up through the roof hatch. He keeps it in his pocket, and it pays dividends. Down goes the Zofia, down goes your 2 concussion mines and your 2 impacts. That's late round. They could be game changing as there's still a freezer shield to deal with. Yuri with no nades left. Ulfrin, he may have some ash charges. He's made an aggress into bathroom, but just gonna back out. 30 seconds left for the execute to come out from AYB. And it's positioned on the skylight. That's Vapor again. A direct trade between Verns and Ulfrin finds ourselves into a 3 versus 4 in favor of LionsCreed. The bomb going down inside of default. There's no player B1 to play aggressive. The Steno is B2. He gets shut down from Cigar Shop. The cover is good enough from Yuri, and the bomb is down. Into a 3 versus 3 post plant now. Smoke canisters get expended to cut off the lines of sight from this skylight. Vapor still on that skylight, able to provide coverage. Yuri goes down, and Suspended gets another kill. Flying through. Vapor drops the skylight and finds one, but not a second. Heavy, the man who had 16 frags on support in the best of 5 final on Cafe, shows why this is his map. A clutch to be had, and LionsCreed with a post-plant victory.
Much closer affair than the first time we went to the 3rd floor, and I think the position of the case causing a little bit of trouble there. AYB not able to retreat up to the top of the skylight to play passive from the roof angle, and so kind of forced into a spot where they had to take those gunfights, and LionsCreed played well around it. One player going for the swing on new balcony, contesting red. Obviously, a communication there for LionsCreed that there was someone trying to escape from piano, and it pays off to give LionsCreed another showing on the defense. I have to say, Booster to be playing on the Zofia is having a rough start to this match. To think what would be happening for AYB if he started to step up going into the last few rounds of the attack half. I think a 3-3 half could be in sight just so long as Booster can try and survive. Maybe what he has to do is play a little bit less aggressive. Maybe give up to Zofia, or maybe, what do I know? Maybe if he gets more aggressive, shuts down LionsCreed in the start of the defense and is able to push beyond sort of the no man's land that we see LionsCreed set up away from the objective, things could come into a different look. But we're going down to kitchen. Last time we went here, I would say LionsCreed's most dominant defensive showing thus far on Cafe.
I think AYB in the late round, if you don't chip away at the man count on LionsCreed favor, they're always going to be favored to, even in a post-plant scenario, retaking their own bomb site, they're still going to be favored to take the victory, because all 5 of the members on LionsCreed are extremely talented. All 5 of them can clutch up. And if you allow 4 members of LionsCreed to be alive while you're going for that execute, even if you get the bomb down, you're still not looking in good stead for the post-plant. I think AYB, as you said, if Booster starts to show up, gets an opening frag, even if he gets traded, but he's still dwindling down the man count for LionsCreed. He's not going to be doing that at the start of this round, however. He gets lit up, 50 HP gone from him, potentially a spawn peek from the likes of Suspended out that garage door. AYB, they're going for this top-down take again. Vapor, he's on the mining balcony, able to drone out the middle floor, while the rest of his team drone out the top floor. They're going to get control very early. And LC, they're not playing this top-down roam. We've got Suspended not on the top floor this time. Him and Steno are just lurking on these basement staircases.
There we go again. Booster to fall at the hands of Steno, and Ulfrin pressured here to wait inside Cocktail, pre-firing as he may to try and prevent LionsCreed, specifically Steno, from aggressing up to the top of the stairs, forcing the AYB offense off balance. And LionsCreed, 5 men alive, is a scary sight, given how comfortable they play and the liability that could cause for your attack here. And the defensive roam is still something that AYB have yet to move over from. Knowing someone's inside dining, but not having the proper tools or the wherewithal to use those tools in clearing this out. Ulfrin, as the Ash player, a little bit too hesitant for my liking, and without support from his teammate, you kind of have to make this decision. The Ash will move forward here. Steno waits for it. There we go. 2 big frags as AYB are down in a rut once more, and LionsCreed looking to punish on this move.
Suspended hiding inside of the, I call it rat corner and pillars, and he finds Choco, the soul hard breacher on AYB. He just now holds his position and wastes time. Yuri and Vapor, they still have to worry about 2 roamers, Steno and Suspended, and even C4s from down below. There's too many angles to worry about. The C4 gets an injured down onto the sledge, finished off there by Suspended. Yet again, it's a 1v5 for an AYB member on a kitchen take. Vapor shuts down Flown, who was trying to support his roamers on the middle floor by coming up the white stairs. Vapor doesn't have the diffuser in hand. 4 LionsCreed members still up and alive on the server, and 20 seconds left, ticking down. He's going to try and assault onto the bomb site, but without diffuser and being absolutely decimated by Suspended. Oh my goodness. We find LionsCreed in a 4 versus 1 advantage in round count.
Tough spot to be in, and I think this is a good time to kind of check in with a point you made earlier with the Thatcher and the Maverick ban. More of a horizontal, kind of typical bakery assault for the kitchen site is not exactly possible, and so it's sort of forcing AYB out of their comfort zone, where they're trying to go for this huge overarching roam, and that's LionsCreed's best game, to try and force you into clearing absolutely every corner, and AYB don't have the intel capabilities to shut down those early positions. I have to say, the composition here for AYB in their attack is just not good enough. Maybe bringing the Jackal, I know it's sort of a taboo topic, but you have to get something else here to shut down the early roam. Because we're talking about members like Steno, Suspended. They're always roaming somewhere, but AYB can't quite pin them down, and that has been a major failing point here in the first split.
Steno, I wasn't sure when he said to me that he'll be playing Smoke this season for LC. I wasn't sure if it was a joke or not. Well, here we are. Round 6 of the first game, and we see Steno on Smoke. And this is an operator not typically associated with this man. You're not going to be playing an aggressive Smoke, but I think Steno, he could redefine the role. Steno just does Steno things. The obvious clip of him jumping out Villa closet window will live long in the history of T4. And whatever Steno is feeling, give it to him. If he wants to play Smoke, let him play Smoke. The SMG-11 is the highest DPS gun in the game. It will shred through anyone quicker than any other gun. People may think the R4C, yeah, it's a deadly gun. SMG-11, oh no, not the. Okay, this is redefining Smoke. Just hiding behind J-Bar and popping up with a shotgun. It's like Halloween all over. Oh no.
Oh, and the bullet hole too. Really, LionsCreed doubling down on rat plays here for the top floor extension, and the Smoke will give it up. Steno maybe wanting to survive for a little bit longer with those gas canisters rather than dying with all of them in pocket. But that's not going to give up Jaeger for Verns, who's still waiting here in the corner, and no drone to try and spot him out. Now you've got some support as well. A defender moving up from the White Hall. AYB on the opposite end of the map, looking to seize control of the top floor here. I'll remind everyone watching, the only round win that we've seen so far for AYB was on this side, and It wasn't the most, absolute impressive victory, but it still was one on the board. Verns, he over-aggresses Ulfrin. Finally, a mistake that's exploited here, and Booster trying to get something as well. Hillfell, Steno, two big names to shut down on the LionsCreed defense. This could begin to crumble if we can't see the Nitro hit, but no, totally off target. That's such an important piece of util. No more explosives, so luckily suspended in the meanwhile. He'll find Ulfrin. Yuri picked back up into the action.
The C4 puts Vapor on 1 HP, and along with Yuri, 1 HP. Yuri then gets downed through the hole that Heavy made with his own C4 by the SMG-11, but he wasn't able to finish off the sledge. So AYB in a man count and a lot of time to work with to mount an assault onto the bomb site. This is looking a lot better than their previous attack, but it's suspended. He finds his 10th kill, double digits so far for the game. He's going to put us level, and with 2 AYB members, 1 bullet from death. LionsCreed are looking good for a 5-1 split. Suspended now, lurking past the air jab. Oh, no. The silhouette just eluded me. Not past the air jab. He's going to look for a late rotate. And with all AYB's attention put onto the bomb site, Suspended could spell disaster. Flown also goes unchecked. Oh no! The team concussion concusses Vapor just as he spots out the player in mining. And now the revive comes right next to Flown. This audio cue will be heard. Suspended gets shut down. But the close range with the super shorty! Flown is flexing on them. He's not able to find 3. And in a 1 versus 1 now, Yuri, the surrogate, finishes off the round. That was a meme round if I've ever seen one. The roaming smoke, the double super shorty kill, and then the conclusion with a surrogate. Oh my goodness, LC go into the side swap 5-1 to the good.
What a play there. The Rooney Gate Castle had it open. He moves away and it reactivates. The low HP that you noted off the back of the excellent Nitro, though not to get the kill, still seals the round. And maybe without that Nitro or without the Rooney Gate there, maybe the final player charges through and he finds one tucked behind the bookshelf. But that's hindsight. What's not hindsight is the fact that LionsCreed are 2 steps away from closing out a dominant victory here, looking to make the first best of 1 bit of a quicker endeavor than the overtime dream we mentioned at the start of the broadcast. Going over to the attack half, I don't think LionsCreed are going to be ready to slow down. They're looking for full speed, that same vigor that they approached the initial start of this map with, and AYB are going to have their full roster firing on all cylinders. Even though it's against LionsCreed, you always kind of have to be prepared for that eventuality of playing at sheer height. Never more so than when LionsCreed have a 4-round lead and a lot of distance put between you.
Yeah, I think that AYB, in just comparison of their game last season, AYB's first Playday last season was also against LionsCreed. And LionsCreed, I believe they stormed them 7-1 on Clubhouse and 7-2 on the next map. But those rounds were really convincing. So far, the scoreline, yes, 5-1 to LionsCreed. But let's just think that a lot of these rounds have gone down. 3, in fact, have come down to 1v1s that AYB have unfortunately lost. That's a big improvement between last season and this season. And AYB, another day, things go their way. Oh my god, Steno.
What?
He's just doing an Assassin's Creed vault and fly down from the sky. He makes his trek to the top of Cafe and then tries to barrel down at the speed of light to the middle floor, and he gets punished for it. Ulfrin gets the opening kill for AYB and sets them off in good stead for the rest of the round.
Sort of reminds me of what Booster did earlier, where he kind of is just like, how about I go fly down the skylight and see what happens? Verns to double up for the top floor clear. G8 in hand. We all know what it's capable of, and certainly AYB knowing that getting in the way of that gun is not going to be very successful for you. You've got Suspended in support as well here. Suppressed Zofia. Curious choice, maybe for the interview later about what's going on there exactly, but hey, just up to personal preference. 2-man hold. Ulfrin capitalized on. Verns expert in the clear as AYB not able to get that same defensive holdout prowess that we expect from the LionsCreed kitchen defenses as they're forced back and the man advantage rests at equal.
I think the issue now that LionsCreed have to deal with is that Electric Claw on the freezer hatch. There's nades on Heavy to be able to clear the Electric Claw out, but if there is a Nitro position close to punish Heavy whenever he goes for that Electric Claw clear, it could net the kill. And but Heavy, he's wise to it. He's gonna be moving around, and that's what a good sledge. You have to sledge one hole and just run away from it, because anyone primed and ready down below with the C4, they're gonna wait for one of those holes to open up, and C4 very close to it. If you stay on the move, it's gonna keep the odds in your favor to not be C4'd. Booster, he still has control of VIP, supported by Vapor with those toxic canisters in behind the whiskey bar. And the player on brown stairs is being choked out and stalled away. Vapor not only chokes him out, but nets the kill. The headshot with the SMG-11 puts AYB in a man advantage. Booster still with VIP control. It seems he's gone undroned as Flown is unaware. That's actually Heavy and Flown, and it nets Booster too. The man who was very lackluster on the entry on offense now proves his worth on the defense with a 3K to secure the round for AYB. It's not match point for LionsCreed just yet, as AYB hold strong and stand tall. They're not letting LionsCreed walk over them like they did last season.
Impressive sign of life there in Booster. Really the electrifying teammate that you need him to be. LionsCreed, they move faster, yes, on their initial stage to get control of the second floor and open up all of the vertical, but what happened once they reached the first floor? They didn't expect someone to be in VIP. They didn't have the resources. It looked like there were still 2 drones left deployed at the apex of the Mozzie's hold inside VIP. So maybe that was just sort of a miscommunication that LionsCreed did not fully achieve their checklist. But AYB certainly looked much better in that round. And personally for me, I'm hoping that now they're on the defense, that they get to pull a few pages out of the strat book and show us what's to be seen here on the second half of Cafe, that we'll have a closer endeavor on our hands. 2-5 looks daunting, yes, but in reality, if AYB start to get some momentum behind them, 3 rounds is very well accomplishable.
Yeah, very much so. We see a lot of the time that when one team starts on the defense, racks up a 5-1 or a 6-0 scoreline on the defenses, they then play complacent in their initial first or second attacks, and then their advantage starts to be cut down, and by the time they actually pick themselves up, start playing properly, AYB, they're only a round less. Jesus, that was the worst phrasing I've ever used. they would be 1 round behind LionsCreed, and then LionsCreed, they actually have to pick themselves up and start playing very, very structured, because AYB, they just need 1 more defense in their level, and we see a lot of the time that we have these rounds just get clawed back and clawed back, and the momentum rolls then in AYB's favor.
Always careful to watch what goes on at the beginning of the round for LionsCreed. Their priority on the top floor. I don't know where Yuri killed Suspended from, but I mean, an opening frag is an opening frag. Fairly important moment to secure it, and I feel like the fragging duo, a Booster and Ulfrin, is starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. You see that it's not so constricted by the timeline that we see the attack more decided by. They can sort of change the speed at which they approach this a little bit differently. Chaco is going to bring the Aruni. We saw that earlier from LionsCreed in one of their defenses, but not the castle to join it as well. I like the way that they've got this set up. An Aruni gate, it's not as, kind of steadfast as a castle barricade. Just one flashbang or a drone could remove it. But at least for Yuri playing a Pixel, he's going to have a little bit more security. He'll know when that opening is there, and maybe with a quick move, he could reactivate.
Yeah, the clear now comes on the Pixel shield, but what do you know? There's safety of a second shield inside of Bathroom for Yuri to play behind. Vapor, he gets shut down by Steno, and your smoke being your initial death on defense is a big loss. 3 toxic canisters off the board, and with Heavy now gone on the other side, 2 frag grenades to counter that. A C4 misses from Booster down below in minibar, trying to recreate the exact C4 that found him off the board and dead on their offenses. Yuri, he's being cleared outside a bathroom, and what the hell is going on? Booster actually finds a kill onto Verns, but Steno refrags onto that player inside of Whitehall. And in a 2 versus 3, Steno has 2 players lined up on the white. Says he finds one, but he's not going to expect the second. That's Booster to get a triple kill on the round. Flown is now laying Predator up the Whitehall and shuts down Booster. It's all into a 1 versus 1, and the player of Choco relocating onto the long bar plays it to perfection. He lurks, he is unheard, and Flown, stuck in that animation of the diffuser plant, cannot pull off in time to react to the Aruni at close range with that DMR. And AYB, we spoke about it, they're starting to clutch rounds back. And look, 4 rounds that LionsCreed had in their advantage, it's already been halved.
And right there at the end, shaking his head for the Aruni, really starting to rub it in, knowing that AYB are on the comeback road, but can they move ahead of LionsCreed? Reading Room and Fireplace, sort of interesting to talk about. Cafe, I don't think has a weak site in the 3 rotation. I think you can play well every single objective, even to include mining and dining. It's just all about how you play it, how you structure yourself. For mining and dining, never are you really going to see a turtle hold. It's all about sort of structuring yourself away from the objective. The same is sort of true when we're talking about reading and dining, more so about the vertical pressure up above with the late rotate to hold off members of the defense. You talked about earlier the idea that these rounds have been much closer than the last time AYB and LionsCreed met in the regular season, and I would say that theory and that theme has continued onward, especially when we look at how this site in particular had developed, coming down to the singular Aruni gate on the north side door, causing so many problems and going uncleared. However, AYB not bringing the Aruni here in round 9.
5 seconds left.
One to watch out for, Booster has really woken up on defense. He started off the game 0-5, and now look at, I hate to bring up kills, but 9-7, he's technically 9-2 after being 0-5 in the early rounds, and that's impressive. Booster, you cannot, as a fragger, I know that you can have bad games, but it really hinders your team if one of your fragging duos haven't woken up. And now, on the defense, he's starting to flex his muscles and show why AYB have brought him onto this roster for this season. He didn't play with AYB last season. AYB have really fluttered around with their 5th all throughout the last weeks. And it looks like they finally found a good fit, and I'm pleased for them, because they've always been just on that precipice of finding someone that fits and able to start building structure around a solid 5 rather than a 4 and playing with a new fit every week. That, it just hurts your consistency. So AYB's hold on the top floor. An interesting difference. Vapor is fully reinforced inside of bathroom. Not Vapor. Booster is fully reinforced inside of bathroom, the other SAS operator. And he has completely fortified that area. 4 reinforcements, 3 mute jammers, an ADS to help him out, and an SAS shotgun at close range. Any LionsCreed member that attempts to push Pixel or Whitehall, they not only have that SAS shotgun at close range, they also have to deal with that Goyo shield being held down at the end of planks. Suspender being lit up through the vertical hole that his own breaching charge had created, but nothing too disastrous just at the time being.
I'm a huge fan of the way that the strategy is working. Booster, he moves away from the bounds of his hold, but the frag grenade saving Verns as he had thrown it just seconds before being down by the M590. So Booster, even before being pressured through the walls of this hold, he'll fall, and a second frag grenade lands for LionsCreed now as Ulfred sent away. Ooh, bit of a shock there for Yuri, not expecting the replicator, but he'll pick up a second. Keen on the guns as AYB work their way back to the 3-on-3, still with a little bit of this top floor hold to call home. Nitro Cell launched around the corner, the Vulcan will detonate. Yuri really starting to feel the pressure, seeming as though this tarp's hold is going to be his grave, but that won't matter now. A big pick to come through from Vapor, and all of the pressure landing on the shoulders of Heavy. His position known, but but popping up with the SMG-11 and popping Yuri's head to go away with it. In a 1-on-2, this will be a tough fight for the Sledge player, ready at the laundry hatch. A little bit of vertical, trying to sense what works through the edge of the rotate, baiting first on the hatch drop. Now as he goes down, looking to contest Vapor close, crouched, waiting, but Vapor hits the shot, and AYB work their rounds one more time. 3 in a flawless rotation, the second half really starting to light up.
A fantastic play from the Goyo of Yuri inside of Tarps. You said the top corner is going to be LC's grave, and boy was that true. That statement from AYB. 1 round behind LionsCreed now. They haven't faltered in any of their defenses, even if they are in a bad situation in terms of man count. 3v5 for AYB that round. And LC just getting ahead of themselves. They didn't play the trade on the Goyo on the Tarps corner. They pushed him 1 by 1 and allowed the Vector to spray bullets at that 1200 RPM rate. And anyone that moved into that holographic site was done and dusted. So AYB with a perfect site rotation. They cycle through all of the objectives all the way back to kitchen without faltering at any step of the way. An adaptation coming out from them. We don't have Vapor on the smoke this time. We have Vapor on the castle. So the hold on the brown stairs is going to be weaker. Vapor isn't going to be able to stall out the pressure from brown stairs. It looks to be a heavy emphasis on Bakery. We see this a lot in ranked play. You have the castle barricade on the wedding door with the reinforcement and a Cade electrical on that single wall, so you can play it behind the bakery stand, obviously supported by those ADSs. And to add the insult to injury, feet holes along the prep wall, so anyone pushing in through the bakery double effectively walks into a deadly crossfire.
Well, also in sharp comparison is the changes to LionsCreed's attack lineup for the bottom floor site. Is instead of bringing the Sledge in IQ, where we saw last time this went down, you've got the Iana, par for the course. Iana, an operator who has stepped up recently in the pick rate. Not so much for the Kali, an operator who can be helpful in a situation where the Thatcher and the Maverick is banned, but also can be quite troublesome in fighting more of the close-range battles as you make progress onwards towards the objective. LionsCreed are skipping the mud of trying to conflict the top floor and instead progress immediately to the first step, but Steno goes down. A big player to lose for the Ash, who has played consistent on both sides of the diffuser. To lose him early is a shock. Vapor, is he gonna go for it? He knows the breaching round, or rather charge, is on the other side, ready with that shotgun. We saw what it can make do earlier, but as he'll fire one shot away, a frag grenade is sent in return. It'll steal his life as LionsCreed, they get an important frag securing the trade, but things aren't done just quite yet.
LionsCreed have fantastically read into the defense from AYB. They don't need to clear top floor down because AYB, they're doing this horizontal bakery hold. And the angles created by that Goyo shield nets a kill from Ulfrin on the Jaeger onto the head of Suspended. Down goes the SAS duo of Suspended and Steno from the round. So it's all up to the rest of LionsCreed to clutch up the round, and Flown is going to start by doing it. The SPS 9 on the Kali making quick work of Booster, and Verns on the Whiskey double door is going to find another. LionsCreed making their entry into the bomb site. Verns is adding on to the list of kills for LionsCreed, and Heavy with the final one. It's LionsCreed finally with their first attack, and I have to commend LionsCreed. The IGL of Flown making a fantastic call that round, that they don't need to waste time taking top floor down. They can take horizontally through VIP and reception area, and AYB, they didn't have an answer to it. As soon as the freezer wall got opened, those castle barricades were opened, and coach control was had, it fell away for AYB.
Gotta be a tough position to be in. AYB have fought hard through the second split, and LionsCreed finally able to break through the ice and answer to the what had so far been an uninterrupted streak. A very impressive AYB defenses. Kitchen is always kind of a troubling sight to attack, especially when you've got members hiding out in all of the various corners. But LionsCreed were in the necessary positions, and they hit all the shots when it really counted. For the top floor hold, AYB, I'm hoping that they play around this sort of pixel bathroom position. It worked wonders in that vertical hold for the reading setup. But the deployable shields to be played here, all that LionsCreed really have to do is to prioritize the soft breach. But that's way easier said than done, especially given the timing. If you wait too long, if you run out of lifeline grenades or breaching rounds, maybe if you don't have as many frags as you would like to, 10 seconds can quickly go by. Ulfrin's ADS reactivates, and all of a sudden you waste a lot of utility for no reason.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think that's something really good about the ADS change, is that you have to be more coordinated as a team. You can't just burn the ADSs and forget about it. You actually have to be synergized in that 10-second window. Oh dear, not a good start for AYB, as on the spawn peak, Booster goes down. That's a C4 off the board. And Booster, he was pivotal in this defense last time around with a 3K on the Goyo. Him being off early, him being lost early is a massive it could be pivotal in the round. LionsCreed with the opening kill, they've struggled on opening kills so far, and in lieu of a sledge, it's taken a long time for LionsCreed actually to get these root patches off. But finally Suspended makes his pilgrimage up with the breaching charges to get to work on this assault for LionsCreed.
I have to say, why is your Goyo going to be the one spawn peeking? You've got Chaco with the Aruni. We already spoke about how much of a lot of damage that gun can pack, especially at long range. And I don't know, Booster just not the right call to make there. And his team is going to pay for it unless AYB can try to move this around. Always a difficult idea. When is it time to spawn peek Suspended? Moving like he's not being suspended here on the middle floor site. Let off the leash, try and chase down AYB's hold. The pressure from below, he denies any option of a nitro cell to come through from the defense, hoping that that'll allow LionsCreed to play a little bit more comfortable inside of Piano, which they have eagerly done. Knowing that it's a 5-on-4 here, LionsCreed can play this a little bit more reserved. Suspended, such an important frag, but Steno, as he tries to charge through towards the lounge, he gets peppered with bullets from nearly every angle. AYB still managing to hold on. Minute and 5. Is this going to be enough to hold away the LionsCreed offense? It very well might be. Ulfrin with a tremendous pick shuts down the IGL. A second for a down. This round is starting to crumble to pieces in LionsCreed. What are they going to do with the ruins that they can so far still hold on to? If Suspended doesn't get picked back up, could be quite the troubling spot.
Tearing apart at the seams is the LionsCreed offense, and Steno being on 1 HP is going to be punished. Ulfrin, he takes advantage of the low HP Zafir, and with Suspended also on low HP, and Heavy now down for the count. LionsCreed, their match point could be all for naught. They have one more go at it before we hit overtime, but AYB's defense looking strong here on the top floor. It's up to Suspended and Verns, now all on Verns, the man who holds the current league kill records, as he broke it last season, 114 kills inside the league season. He won't get any more this time around, however, as he's shut down by that tremendous DMR on the Aruni. There we go. I always get Aruni and Amaru mixed up, and in casting it pains me. It pains me. Pains me through and through, but AYB, I have to say, congratulations. This is the most rounds you have ever taken off of LionsCreed in any game in ECS. Well done. But it's not there, said and done. They need one more round to collect a singular point. No more draws. If you have just joined us here today, no more draws in ECS. We've moved to best of ones, and we hold the same format as EUL in that we have overtime. An overtime victory nets you 2 points, an overtime loss nets you 1 point. LionsCreed, they're either going to get 3 points here, or 2 or 1. They have secured themselves 1. AYB, the question is, can they themselves secure that vital 1 point? I think Major Division is going to be super competitive this season. We have 10 teams all stacked with talent, so every point counts.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Definitely right on the money there, and LionsCreed, that would not be a great start. To let AYB take this to overtime, there's still an option for LionsCreed to win, but you don't want that to be the start of your regular season, especially when we look back to Season 1. LionsCreed losing in the regular season was not something that happened very often, and they don't really have sort of a losing mentality. It's win, 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 and see how you can make yourself get there. LionsCreed kind of having a bit of a struggle so far. That last round, an impressive showing for Ulfrin, who managed to hold on inside of that bathroom position, which is so difficult to clear out sometimes, even with the early death of Booster. Imagine what an AYB defense on that objective looks like with the Goyo still alive in the fight, preserving a Nitro cell. But heading down to the first floor, we've seen this play out twice so far. Last time LionsCreed approached it, a very aggressive, fast attack, leaving no prisoners.
I worry here for AYB. They're adopting the same castle strategy which they had in round 10, and LionsCreed just picked that apart. But LionsCreed not going for that horizontal VIP take. They want to exert vertical pressure, obviously heavy on the sledge yet again. They're not bringing that Calais to be able to get those electricals off of the freezer wall. This time they want that vertical pressure through train and mining, and with AYB not having any presence on the top two floors, just Vapor making himself known on the basement red stairs, a lot of control is had in LionsCreed's hands very early, and in a site that preys on the timer being your 6th man on defense, I question AYB giving up this much map control very, very quickly.
Really about what LionsCreed can get done with the sledge of heavy to open up all of the various angles inside and above the objective. They were able to win it even last time without that vertical pressure. Suspended with the first look, peering down beyond the bomb chassis. The sledge will open things up as well. Steno, he does break the cardinal rule of the sledge play, but when you're Steno, you kind of get to break a few rules here and there. Two-man roam, a flank to comprise of a red stairs retake. Booster, in the meanwhile, fells heavy, shutting down any more pressure. Iana totally preoccupied. Vern's caught lacking as he stared through the floor, and now Ulfrin, he'll double back, but the same cannot be said for the other member of AYB, still off-site and looking to make it count, but Vapor shut down. Steno to contest it, but there is the so pivotal shield lying at the end of the deep hallway, but Ulfrin, he'll play the pixel angle to the best of his capabilities. LionsCreed, only 2 members left standing to look forward, trying to contest onto the kitchen side, and AYB preparing for what is a huge upset to steal this out and send us into overtime.
Yeah, that shield I've never actually seen him play before. Flo makes a rotate to Bakery, but there's too many angles. We spoke of the crossfire in the previous defense on Kitchen that's created inside of Bakery. The 2 remaining attackers on LC are going to pinch towards Wedding, but Ulfrin's up to the task. That Goyo shield being used to perfection, and it's all on suspended as the clock ticks down. How's he going to win this? Even with the R4C in hand, an AYB on the back of Ulfrin that round for the first time take some points from LionsCreed. The question is, will it end up being 2 or 1? Because they now have the defense inside of overtime, and with both defenses on both sides winning out 5-1, the odds heavily favor AYB now.
It's such a difficult part, and for AYB to have secured OT defense, that is a huge win, knowing that they have played very impressively on their defenses. The attacks, I don't know if that was them slowing down a little bit at the start and not being warm, or just kind of a struggle here on Cafe, but only having to win the defense out of OT here is much better than what LionsCreed have to stare down to. Defense can be a huge bounty. It can also be a struggle. LionsCreed only having one off the back of that quick call, so maybe what the idea could be here is to let Flown sort of decide the strategy on the fly. Rather than attacking this with something preset throughout the round, make some of those minute adaptations to, I don't know, sort of micromanage LionsCreed in the way that they attack this. We know they have the gun skill. I think it's just about taking your engagements precisely and deciding that sometimes a battle is not worth the reward.
5 seconds to go.
Some very true words there. I could listen to
Attackers
you
are moving
speak
out to
all
locate
days.
a bomb and defuse it.
I honestly could. I'm actually very honoured to be inside the casting desk for the first time. And it's I'm not a simp, Grissom. Producers just whispered in my ear that taboo inside of the Twitch community. But yes, AYB have the double defense and Booster looking for another aggressive early pick. He's hanging upside down on the white stairs. That is a
What is
rather,
this?
that's a rather hilarious position to be had. But it's LionsCreed that need to hold tight on their position on attack. They are yet to win this top floor offense, especially with the exact same lineup being brought out by AYB. Something needs to change for LionsCreed. They need to switch something up.
Bomb located by
Steno
attackers.
looking to lurk down below. Yes, Ulfrin and Booster are those two roamers on the middle floor, and Steno, he's going to shut one of them down. Ulfrin, who was such a pivotal player on the previous round to swing us into overtime, is not going to have any answer in this round so far. Yuri with those Valcams is going to give him the intel to play inside of Pixel, but with LionsCreed now a man good, let's see how it plays out, Stickula.
Attackers recovered the bomb
AYB to
diffuser.
secure the trade as Flown goes down. Your IGL sent into the observation tools, maybe able to work his task just a little bit better now that he can see individually each and every one of the positions. Being on that offensive roll, suspended a headshot, rips Chaco apart. AYB struggling here. Good angle from Yuri. Try to contest as they move in, but the drone is in position. Booster, an important kill in the round, especially with the time so low, 60 seconds. For LionsCreed to stake their claim to a win on offense doesn't look terribly likely. Suspended is 14-11 though, and Verns teases it right at the edge of the default plant, always making sure that he doesn't overexpose himself to a swing from the heaven balcony. Booster with good security on the bottom of the stairs. This round definitely going to be a close attempt. Will Verns be successful in the use of the diffuser, or are they going to win this simply on elimination? All of those options. The Valkyrie proving to be quite troublesome. This shield still exists. Verns is going to have to go for the double swing. He'll take the head of Yuri. 2 on 3. This is going to come down terribly close, but look at the health pool for LionsCreed. One whiff, that toxic canister from Vapor could be huge, but he'll line up 2. Vapor for a huge down, and Verns left in a tough spot, trying to check the angle.
no.
He'll find one bouncing around. Only the smoke. Vapor just needs to play it careful, but 2 more as it's a triple kill. AYB successful on their first OT defense.
Vapor, the man who infamously went 0-18 in the last matchup against LionsCreed, pulls out a massive 3k to put them the round advantage in overtime. 7-6 the scoreline in favour of AYB. And could we be seeing something special? AYB, for the first time, it's a match for first times, but AYB have never been in the lead against LionsCreed. This is how incredible this matchup is to me. Just seeing AYB actually in front of my eyes, in the scoreboard, ahead of LionsCreed, are winners of it all last season. This season's gonna look very, very good and exciting for all of us neutral spectators if AYB are able to upset LionsCreed in our first ever major Playday. Boy, Stickula, what a season we have ourselves lined up for.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the teaser of what we've got in the latter Playdays. Still 2 matches left on the day, and as well, the thrilling conclusion that I imagine this game is sure to be had. But let's talk about what makes LionsCreed successful on the defense. Usually it comes down to AYB not being as coordinated as you would like, not having that thoroughness on the intel game, and sometimes, I hate to say it, lacking the cojones to make the right aggressive play. Sometimes you just have to stick it to LionsCreed. It's an idea that we talked about earlier. Ulfrin played in these shielded positions at a corner peak waiting beyond the threshold of a door. And when he did that on the Jaeger for AYB, he went huge. If Ulfrin can play like that on the opposite side of the field here, that could be this done and dusted and an 8-6 victory. But the game, I think, really here is going to rest on the shoulders of LionsCreed. If they want this, they want the opportunity to head back into match point at 7-7, they're going to have to try their hardest to make it happen.
Exactly. But AYB, they have to assault onto this top floor, and it's going to start off very good for them. Verns goes down on the peek through garage door. Booster was wise to it. Not the garage door, with it. Oh, Verns is a cigar shop player. Wow, it's been a long time since we've seen LionsCreed on the defense, and I completely forgot that they do the cigar shop hold. But yet again, Verns, he's there to waste time and collect drones, and we saw him be so pivotal in LionsCreed's defense when he's able to escape out of cigar shop with his life intact and even a C4. But this time, AYB shut him down. They're able to counter the cigar shop hold and finally net the kill onto Verns. But still, they have to transition this now, this early control, into a site execute. They have been successful in planting the diffuser both times on this bomb site. But we're going to have to see them do it yet again, or win out the round on kills. And with Suspended and Steno still alive, both in double figures, it's a tall mountain to climb.
Steno not leaving any open option. He'll swing wide, shuts down Chaco. No more hard breach. The loss of the Habana, AYB's first casualty here on the attack round in OT. Suspended. Tried to go for a bit of a peek. Steno, how does he win that? Tries to wrap around for a second, but Ulfrin with the shutdown steals the life of the Jaeger. No more pixel hold. It'll come down to just Suspended and Heavy. AYB advantage all here on Cafe with the man count to try and back this push. But with one member offside up on the hatch, Heavy will isolate, shutting down Vapor. Just up to Ulfrin and Yuri. We know what they're capable of, and the Ash is ready for it. 25 seconds to mount the push through, but she gets shut down. Suspended from the long angle, and Yuri choking on the gas. LionsCreed finally picks something up, and they'll hang on for one more Cafe round.
Oh my word, we're going the distance, Stickula. Round 15 to separate AYB and LionsCreed. And now, the site selection is going to be very intriguing to me. Do AYB opt for reading room or kitchen? It's going to be kitchen by the looks of it. Nope, they changed their mind. Reading room. This bomb site, they've defended once and won it once. But it was in a 3 versus 5, and Yuri had to go massive inside of tarps. AYB, they fake out the kitchen bomb site by 6-picking off of the K to the Malusi. And that baits LionsCreed into the pick onto the Kali. Yes, Kali can be useful in opening up. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. Kali can be really useful in opening up the tarp's wall from Freezer. And that means that Yuri will not be able to play in the tarp's corner if that wall gets opened up by Hemi with the Selma charges. So, really interesting use of the 6-pick from both teams and how they're going to be able to interact. The 6-pick off of the Cade obviously only leaves the wall denial of the mute jammers on Booster. Flown, Thatcher's banned, and the Thatcher replacement of Kali, which isn't very popular inside of competitive play because that primary weapon of the CRX 2000, something like that, is a very difficult weapon to use. But obviously with that semi-automatic sidearm of the SPS-9 and the hard breach charge on Steno, bringing out the 0 for the first time, being curtained away. We've seen Steno on the 0 last season, and he was very potent on that operator. The 4 cams are going to be useful for late round in LionsCreed's site push. So, Round 15, Stickula, take it away.
Who knew this one to go the full distance? LionsCreed triumphant over Jaeger's Academy, the champions of the last season, and AYB not even making it out of the Stage 2 playoffs, losing to PG Tips, sending us for Cafe into the 15th round of play. Steno with the change, bringing in the 0, first time we've seen him the entire duration of this match, and AYB, they sure love to play these pixel angles, guarding it off with the shields and denying LionsCreed any semblance of an advantage. A lot of deployables here on the top floor. Vulcans as well, stalling out the LionsCreed pressure and making sure that when AYB peak, they have some protection. You can tell that this is a little bit of a sticking point for AYB, having some struggles with clearing it out and making the fullest extent of their progress. I wonder what the Cali is going to do, though. How is that going to affect the course of this round?
Well, she's already made herself known by removing the mute jammers from that power position inside of bathroom. And Choco being the first death from Steno outside of garage nets 1 C4 off the board. And the Cali still alive, gets the mute jammer off of the Tarp's wall as well. The Selma charge rains out, but being shot from below by Vapor. He's not able to actually deny all of the Selmas going off, and Suspended nets the kill, but Yuri trades it back. Verns with the frag grenades finds Booster down below, and now AYB in a clutch situation. Vapor down on the bomb site on the smoke, and Yuri joining him now, falling through the hatch, being lit up by those vertical angles. LionsCreed in the advantage. 50 seconds, but we've seen them lose rounds in the 2-man advantage. Vapor can make something work as he lurks up the white stairs, looking for a pick, wary of the bathroom angle, but looks away just at the wrong time. Verns holds strong and holds the flank to perfection. Yuri, 12 kills. He's got to go all the way up to that grand total of 16 to clutch it out, but no! Steno! The man of the hour, the man of the season, potentially the man to shut down AYB. Boy, it was a brawl, and congratulations to AYB for finally showing up on a game day against LionsCreed, not being walked all over. They secure themselves a singular point, and I think, Stickula, we're both in agreement that they do deserve it.
Yeah, you don't take LionsCreed to every single possible round without fighting tooth and nail to get there. Credit to AYB on an awesome performance on Cafe, though failing at the final moment. And I think it has to come down to Flown in why that game turned out the way it did, especially in the final moment. That looked like a complete turnaround from LionsCreed. They read it into so many aspects, whether it was the 0 waiting down inside the garage to cut off the Malusi's flank, or the Cali being used to clear out the bathroom position, which provided them so much trouble last time we saw that vertical extension play out. LionsCreed, they read through the strategy, and AYB lose because they repeat the same plan over once again.
Yeah, I have to give credit to Flown on the IGL for LionsCreed. Fantastic adaptation, and yes, no one may want to play Cali because that rifle is so difficult to use, and the SPS-9 has a lot of recoil. But that was the difference maker, being able to open up those reinforcements that were being fortified by the mute jammers was the difference between a victory and a loss there in overtime for LionsCreed. They secure themselves 2 points and obviously head to the top of the table. This is our first best of 1 game so far in Major Division. We are going to have a short break, catch our breaths, because that was an entertaining 15 rounds we have just been through. We'll be back very shortly with Jaeger's Esports, the runners-up from last season, against brand new faces of Cyberground Gaming Academy. Welcome back, everyone. I've certainly have had a well-encouraged break. I've put my voice to rest. I've fueled myself with a bit more sugar to get me through these final two best of ones. Wow, what a start to the evening, well, afternoon for you over in the US of A. But yeah, 15 rounds, our first matchup. If that's anything to go by, I think these final two games are surely going to give us a treat as well.
Yeah, fairly competitive match, though it went back and forth on each of the sides. Eventually came down to such a closely fought overtime, and for that to be the closest match, I have pretty high expectations set for the second two. We'll be heading next to Clubhouse, Jaegers Esports versus Cyberground Gaming Academy on the docket. I'm not very familiar with both of these teams, but if you've been around an EUT4 or even taken one glance at Twitter, I'm sure you've heard of Jaegers Esports, a team that has been around for more than many of us casters.
Yeah, they've been a solid core roster who have just tried to figure out the best five and replacing one of their main fraggers, Panda, with a new arrival of Shift. Shift brings the experience of IGLing, and I know from the side of Jaegers that's something that they really lacked last season, and they think is why they lost the grand final, is just that lack of an IGL, just giving them an overarching structure on how to adapt and how to set themselves up against different teams. So the question is, will Shift be the difference maker for Jaegers? Will they be able to go that one step further and win it all, not be runners up, finish top of the league, and then take it all in our playoffs? Standing in their way, however, are the new faces of Cyberground Gaming. You may know the players off the back of your ranked games if you've ever played ranked in the last year or so. We've got the likes of Bomber, Sarks, Robbie, Runner. These are very potent mechanical players, and they may run the rank scene, if I can say that.
Yeah, Cyberground Academy, I think formerly known as PG Tips, I don't know how they just play like the sky is the limit every time they load into the lobby, and maybe Jaegers Esports going to have a little bit of a difficulty with that sort of very heightened level of aggression. Jaegers, you mentioned, a little bit more kind of solid, kind of a structured team that take things as they go and don't always just play for that first punch into the building here. Between both of these teams, do you think you could put a solid prediction on who's going to take it home?
Oh, man. It is difficult. I think even the community vote, just inside Twitch chat, we have a 59-41 split on the Twitch chat predictions. 59% in favor of Cyberground Gaming. I personally cannot call it. I think that with going to Clubhouse, that slightly sways in favor of Jaegers, just purely because it is a very structured map and there's not much room lurk around and play that ranked playstyle. There's not many nooks and crannies in the map that won't be droned out by Jaegers. I've seen them before play Clubhouse, and they like the SSG style roam. And if a rank style team is playing against an SSG roam, how are they going to clear that? I assume that Cyberground aren't going to be as synergized as Jaegers, and there's going to be a lot of solo entries. But if Cyberground can set themselves up for that refrags, as we know that they can do, and win their gunfights, this could go in their favor. But I think I said I can't separate leading us with Clubhouse.
Oh, okay. So the one thing that definitely strikes me here as a little bit unusual would be the ban of Coastline to come through from Cyberground. I feel like if any team is going